Well, the exposure of China's large-scale cyber hacking by US security firm Mandiant has delivered a wake-up call to governments and corporations around the world. It's revealed not only the sheer volume of attacks, but also the vulnerability of government agencies once thought impenetrable. Now, further questions are being asked about Australia's cyber defences. Elisa Throden reports.
American blockbuster Mission Impossible is old hat these days in the world of espionage. Modern spies prefer the comfort of an office.
He logs in successfully with a stolen username and password.
Here, the US security firm Mandiant exposes in remarkable detail the ease with which a Chinese military unit steals sensitive information at the click of a mouse. Its estimated computer hackers number in the tens of thousands, from bored university students to those working in sophisticated government organisations, like the headquarters of the People's Liberation Army Unit 61398 in Shanghai, exposed by Mandiant. In the case of China, the extent to what information's been compromised, experts say you only have to look to the country's military arsenal.
They have been getting hold of very sensitive information, and their advances in weapons systems reflect that, in terms of missiles, in terms of anti-satellite weapons, in terms of stealth technology, in terms of nuclear technology.
Despite China's repeated denials, experts believe there aren't too many American organisations it hasn't infiltrated, costing companies hundreds of billions of dollars, while Washington's viewed as a hacker's playground. Even media companies have been targeted. The New York Times blames repeated attacks by hackers with links to the Chinese military after it exposed the vast wealth of the family of outgoing Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao. And while experts say hacking is rampant, it's the Chinese who are the most organised and prolific.
It's not as if hacking is something peculiar to the Chinese. What's interesting in this case is that in a significant, or to a significant extent, the Chinese Communist Party is encouraging a view in China that it's sort of them against the world.
The Australian government's foray into the battle of cyber warfare is in its early stages. It recently announced it was establishing a cyber security centre. Trouble is, local educators in cybercrime hold grave concerns about its effectiveness, with a skills shortage likened to a ticking time bomb.
The reality is, the Australian government needs a lot more information security expertise. They need young people that are going to study mathematics, engineering, that'll become professionals in this game.
The majority of those studying cybersecurity are international students. Nigel Fair says it opens the potential for those students to use what they've learned against Australian industry and the government.
Well, that's the great unknown. We don't know the actual people themselves who are conducting cyber attacks against us.
Ty Miller is what's known as an ethical hacker, educating companies about their own security. He paints a worrying future for Australia's cyber security.
Both government and corporates are in a situation where if an attacker wants to break into their network, they can basically do it. It's just a matter of time and a matter of identifying the techniques that they want to use to be able to break into the network and gain access to the data. It's not necessarily if they're going to get in, it's more these days around are you going to identify the attack to contain it once you actually have been breached.
In cyber warfare, it seems the Australian government is facing its own Mission Impossible. Elisa Throden, Lateline.